Okay, good afternoon. So today we are going to discuss one of the important experiment called as transistor characteristics. So might be we are already discussed in the class in the module 3 all the semiconductor devices like p-n junction diode, Zener diode, isn't it? And light emitting diode, similarly BJT, isn't it? And solar cells. So this experiment is very important. So that your today's experiment is transistor characteristics. So what is the objective of this experiment? The transistor characteristics. So we have to study the input and output characteristics of a given NPN transistor. So but we know that what is a transistor? A transistor is a three-terminal device. It's a three-terminal device, or you can take two p-n junctions side by side, connect, you will get to the NPN or PNP transistor. So especially here we are focusing on NPN transistor. So look at this. This is the symbol of your NPN transistor. So it's the three terminals. So one is called as a base, another one is called emitter and collector. So here you observe that the base is a region is lightly doped and made it very thin. That's what very important thing. The base is lightly doped. That's what the base is always very thin. The doping level in the emitter is more than in the collector. So the emitter base junction is forward biased. So here the emitter base junction is always a forward bias, and hence the junction resistance is very low in this case. So the collector base junction is always a reverse biased junction. So this collector base junction is always a reverse bias, and hence the junction is very large. So at the base of an NPN transistor, the electrons coming from the emitter and attracted by the reverse biased collector. A collector current IC is slightly less than emitter current IE. So due to this recombination of the electron at the base, a small base current IB flows through the base terminal. Therefore, emitter current is always equivalent to collector current plus base current. That's what you can observe that in this case. So already now I am showing the circuit connections of the transistor. So this is NPN transistor. In the transistor, you look at this. What is the apparatus required? So this is the main thing is a regulator power supply. So this is a 0 to 5 volts DC regulated power supply is there. This is a set one, and we have one more regulated power supply on the other side. This is 0 to 12 volts DC regulated power supply is there, and we need some one voltmeter in the input circuit. So I am saying that the complete circuit, just I am going to divide into the two parts. The left hand side of this part, that is what about this VBE, this 0 to 5 volts. This left hand side is called as input circuit of the transistor, and the right hand part, this is called as this part. So VBE, this is a 0 to 12 volts DC power supply. So this part is called as output circuit. So this is a transistor. So actually the transistor is called SL100. Yes, the transistor. This is a transistor. This is SL100. It is made up of Bell Electronics Limited, India. So this is a three-terminal device one. Now I am going to connect the circuit. Look at this. So this is the source voltage, but here a line is there. This is internally is connected. All the wires is connected. But whereas this voltage VB to the source one, the set one, no connections. Therefore, I am going to connect the circuit, interlink the circuit from this point to this point, isn't it? Similarly, here also look at this. I am connecting the circuit because just we are connecting a regulator power supply to the input circuit. Similarly, in the right hand side also, the other source, 12 volt source, I am connecting to the output circuit because we are connecting to the VBE. Similarly, we are connecting into this one. So now is a complete circuit is there. So we are connecting all the things. So here you can look at this. This is a transistor. So this is a base. This is your collector. This is emitter. Look at this. emitter is common to both input circuit and output circuit. Therefore, it is called common emitter junction. It's called as common emitter because emitter is a common both input circuit as well as the output circuit. So look at this. I am going to connect the circuit. So this is a milliamps. So just this is called as input current. The input current is called as IB. It is denoted by IB. The input current is always in microamps. Input current is always microamps. Now I am going to connect the current meter negative to negative, and this positive. The micrometer is connected to the device because the device is connected maybe inside, isn't it? So this is your connections. Similarly, we are going to connect this output current. So output current is also called as IC. It is denoted by IC. The output current is always must be in milliamps, whereas input current must be always in microamps. So this output current, the positive of is IC is connected to positive of the millimeter, and negative of this millimeter connected to negative. Now look at this. Now we have one more thing. Important thing is VCE. The VCE is called as output voltage. What about this VCE? So this voltage between collector and emitter. Voltage between collector and emitter. So this is called as output voltage. Whereas VBE, the voltage between base and emitter, is called as input voltage. Now I am going to connect this output voltage, this negative of the VCE, I am going to connect it to negative of the voltmeter, and positive of this VCE is connected to the voltmeter positive. Isn't it? So now the circuit is completed. Look at this. I am connecting these two terminals to the DC. Then this is a VBE is called as input voltage of the transistor. This is in microamps. So this microamps, positive to positive, negative to negative, and connected. Similarly, the output voltage is connected to this voltmeter. So negative of this VC is connected to negative of voltmeter because this is a ground. The positive of this is connected to this. And finally IC, the output current is a IC. So IC terminal is always should be in the milliamps. This connected to these two terminals. So this is completes your circuit. Now this is circuit. Then might be observed that we have to study the input characteristics as well as the output characteristics. So input characteristics might be, you can know that you can take input characteristics. Put it. Input characteristics. This is the graph. You observe that. So what is this? On this graph you observe that. So VB versus IB. So VB versus IB. So input characteristics means at constant output voltage, there will be a change in the base emitter voltage, then we will get base current. That is known as input characteristics of a transistor. So that's what we are going to take here. So VB along the x-axis, maybe IB on the y-axis. So generally we are just a little bit increasing the VB in terms of start from 0 to 0.1, 0.2 like that. There will be increment in the current, base current. The current will be in microamps. That should be linearly increases. Still you are increasing the VB. The IB still is increasing. That is the exact nature of your input characteristics. So first I am going to start with the input characteristics, isn't it? So similarly you can take the output characteristics. Show me this one. Similarly, you can observe that in output characteristics. So, what is meant by output characteristics? So, at constant IB, at input current IB must be constant. There will be a variable in output voltage VCE, and will get IC current. So, the relation between VCE and IC at constant IB is called as output characteristics. So that's what clearly observe that here I am going to take this a collector current along the y-axis, and here VCE, the output voltage of the transistor VCE along the x-axis at constant IB. What about IB? The IB is called as input current. So input current must be constant, just like assuming as at 25 microamps, 50 microamps, 100 microamps, like that. So when we can vary with the VC value, we will get different IB values. Then you can plot the graph. We will take different values of IB. So that is called as output characteristics. So like that, everyone should plot input characteristics as well as output characteristics. From that input and output characteristics, you have to find out the new voltage and the cutoff regions and some dynamic resistance you have to find out. So now I am going to take the values. Now just take a look at this in this case. So this I am going to start with input characteristics once again. So what about input characteristics? We can keep VC should be constant. VC should be constant. What about VC value here? So this is VC value. So just you can look at this. I'm going to vary the VC value. It is varying with 1.5. Just I'm keeping 2 volts, 1.6, maybe again 1.8, 1.95, exactly 2. Just look at this is a distal, a little bit increasing. Look at this exactly. Now it is a 2 volts, 1.98, or you can take it as 2 because distal is varying to 1.9 or 2 something. Yes, 2. So 1.98 or 7.7 is varying. So 2 VC, that must be constant. Once you can set this one, this is a 12 volts DC supply, should not touch this one, isn't it? So we are keeping VC is equal to, so 2 volts. VC is equal to 2 volts. Once again, still yes. So VC is equal to 2 volts. It's varying. Let's start. Okay, VC is equal to 2 volts. So here, then what about next one? We are going to vary VB value. So we have only one voltmeter. Only you have to show this one. Here we only one voltmeter. Therefore, I am going to connect this VB and this I am going to connect here. This is only simple thing. So what about here? So VB is there. VB is connected to the voltmeter. So VB negative 2. So negative, and positive of the voltmeter connected to positive of the VB. Isn't it? Now I am going to start with the experiment. What about in steps of VB is equal to 0? Look at this. VB is equal to 0 value. Isn't it? Then IC, here let's show you. IC is equal to, so IB is equal to 0. So VB is equal to 0. IB is equal to 0, then little bit you can increase this value, again is 0, still we are increasing IB is equal to 0, isn't it? Then VB is equal to, we can go even 0.3, 0.4 also, IB will be 0, even 0.05 of VB, IB will be 0, that's what you can observe in the curve, isn't it? Then go for is maybe 0.1, I am going to the 0.1. Look at this, exactly VB is equal to 0.1, so we will get some value, IB value should be 0.49. So look at the exactly here, so IB is equal to 1, 0 is almost 0, so 0.10, go up to some value, then up to 0.5 is also 0, 0.52 is also 0, but 0.54 we will get the value 0.49. So what about, this is our knee voltage. It is called as a knee voltage. That means this is the voltage, this is 0.54 is the knee voltage, because at 0.54 it is functioning. That means we'll get some current, some base current that is nearly about 0.49 microamps. So this one. Then after that, then after 0.4, so in steps of you can increasing 0.54, you'll get some value. 0.56 still is increasing. 0.58 is increasing the values. Just look at this here. We're going to increase the VB value. 0.3, 0.4, then we'll get 0.52. We'll get the value. IB will be some 0.49. Isn't it? Exactly. 0.52 value. Here may be old record. Exactly now I'm doing this here. Here VB is equal to 0.2. IB is equal to 0.49. Then you will increasing 0.54. Then you will get 0.98. 0.54. IB is equal to 0.98. Still increasing 0.56 like that. 0.56. Still we'll get some value. 1.47. 0.56. 1.47. So what happens here? An exponentially increases. When increasing the VB value above 0.5 volts is gradually increasing. Still again, now the VB is 0.6. IB will be is around 1.47 and 1.49. Maybe it's a digital meter is varying. Then still are increasing 0.58. 0.58. So look at this. It goes to some 2.44 or 2.9, isn't it? So you can first value you can take it. It's nearly about 2.44. So when 0.58 VB volts, IB must be 2.44. Similarly, we are increasing 0.6. So increasing the 0.6 value exactly. Look at this. Exactly a 0.6. So 0.6. Now IB will be what about 5.38? So 0.6 volts. IB will be 5.38. Then go for 0.62. Again, look at the VB value 0.62. So goes to 0.62 value. So it will get some 9.29 microamps. So still you can go for 0.64 maximum value. Just I'm putting 0.64. 0.64. VB is equal to 0.64. So if you look at this, the value should be 19.06 or 18.56. What the value here should take it? So 0.64. So 18.57. So like that we can gradually increase the values. So once you are increasing the VB value, from 0 to 0.64. Actually I am taking the 0.64. So what about here? IB value is gradually increases, but you can observe that only after 0.54 we will get the value. So in our case, maybe exact at 0.52 will get 0.49 value. So then from this you can plot a graph. You plot a graph. So the graph should be this. So we'll take in the x-axis VB value in steps of 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 like that, isn't it? Up to maximum you can take 0.6 volts. Then you can get this nature of the graph. So actually this is the graph. You can observe that this nature of the graph you are going to take on the x-axis. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 like that. In the y-axis you will take 0, 5, 10 like that in microamps, isn't it? So you will get this graph. So you will take any point, just you can take one slope. The slope will give your forward resistance. Forward resistance you are getting. The slope will get it. That is a delta VB by delta IB. That value may be exactly something about what is the value of? The value is getting something 1.4 into 10 power 3 ohms. So that is your forward resistance of your diode. Forward resistance of your diode. So what about here? The knee voltage. That the knee voltage nearly about will get to 1.4 into 10 power 3 volts, isn't it? Similarly you can go. I hope that might be understood. What do you mean by what do you mean by the input characteristics? So particularly observe that once you will get this type of graph really exposing up to 0.5 is almost 0. That's what I get. Then is little bit is linearly increases. You can take a tangent value is cuts on the tangent line and tangent line on the x-axis. Exactly will find out the knee voltage. So that is your exact knee voltage. That will be nearly about your suppose it is a silicon material, you will get some 0.6 to 0.67, isn't it? Otherwise, some more than values. What the values you are getting, depending upon the nature of the material, you will get the knee voltage by plotting the this tangential line. So similarly, you can take the slope. Any 2 points you can take one. The slope will use, so delta VB by delta IB, that will get your forward dynamic resistance of your transistor in the input characteristics. Now we look at in the